I wanted to start by thanking the City of Halmstad once again for being a gracious host. I've heard from many of you over the last couple of days that the content has been interesting and challenging, and as usual, the conference has flown by too quickly. I can tell you it's been a great learning experience for me as well. I'm always energized by the amount of dedication that you all, and I mean everybody in the room, make to helping us drive this mission ahead. And it feels like we have a sort of a new head of steam with the with the launch of the public-facing Sail on Board brand. And we're going to be careful not to crack the champagne on that and congratulate ourselves too much. We've seen great results already, but there remains a lot of work to do. Sail on Board has managed to help us bridge something we've all struggled with for quite a while. We've had a number of conference sessions over the years about branding and how do we convey this message to the public, and it feels like we finally found a way to do that, a way to tell our story in a way that will get the public to understand it and embrace it. But it's also been a bit like restoring an old house. Sort of feels like we have a fresh coat of paint in one room, and when we stood back to look at it, we sort of started to notice other things we could also do. So there is a lot of work to do. And fortunately, we have a board of trustees, a staff team, and a board at our commercial company that all have a strong sense of evolution and wanting to make things better. So we're very open-minded about the input that we get from you all and continuing to grow, not just Sail on Board, but all the things we do. So we encourage you all to feed back to us as we find the right course corrections to see our mission continue to grow for the years ahead. I wanted you to reflect with me just for a moment, and I'm not going to say too much more, but it's only been 10 months since our last conference. So the first thing is thank you for this full room. We had our biggest conference ever in Quebec, and that was only 10 months ago. And here we are 10 months later with sort of our normal size European conference. So we're very pleased with all the dedication that you made to get to both of them. So we had our conference 10 months ago. Our team has since organized and run the Tall Ship Races 2016 since that conference, the North Sea Regatta, a very complex Black Sea Regatta, and done the advanced planning for Tall Ship Races 2017, and also a very complex with over 35 ports for Rendezvous 2017 for next summer, and somehow managed to put together this great conference. They did all of that over the last 10 months, and I've done this before and they don't like it, but I'd like our STI team to stand up, our staff. If you could please stand up, whoever's in the room. It's a small group of people. Thank you. That's the high-level list of things. There's a million other things that get done in a day, and it is an incredible amount of things that get achieved in a year. That's everything I have to say. We're going to move on to the awards ceremony part of the closing plenary. And before we get into that, Nancy Richardson received an award from us last year, and she asked to have, she felt she didn't at the time have the words to express herself, and she asked for a couple of moments now. So, Nancy, let me just put that there.
Is that good? Is that good? Okay. Thank you, thank you, thank you. In every language, thank you. Tak, tusen tak. Thank you for honoring my past with the Janka Bilac Award at the Sti Conference in Quebec. It was such a surprise, all I could think of to say was, you can count ships, but it's shipmates, it's friendships that count. You know, Janka Bilac was a wonderful Polish woman, recognized for contributing to international friendship and understanding through sail training. I've had almost a year to reflect on the meaning of this award, and wow, it's hard to express my heart in words. My heart jumped when I heard Doug say, This person was inspired by hearing Captain Irving Johnson's lecture about sailing the world on Brigantine Yankee. And I realized at that point that Doug was talking about me. Since then, I've been reflecting on the sailing adventures that I've had since I sailed my first tall ship with Mariner Girl Scouts in 1957. I'm blessed to be able to say thank you to 96 different ships that I've sailed since, and even more blessed with the countless shipmates at sea and ashore. And forever thankful for the ways we're each making the world a better place together. I learned a life lesson sailing on Lord Nelson in Australia, from pulling together on a halyard with the guy behind me in a wheelchair, both of us hauling as hard as we could. On that ship, the way of life is that everyone does everything to the best of their ability. Oh, how I wish for that in our world ashore. Regardless of our roles at sea or ashore, we support and share some measure of what I see as the three key elements in sail training. Students, we're all students, ships, and the sea. Interacting through sailing, shipboard living, and the sea experience. All together impacting real life and real outcomes. We're all sailing through life, shipmates and stewards of our ocean planet's future. Some of you here may remember the old ISTA meetings in London. That was the International STA before we became Sail Training International. The meetings were, like I said, in London, in a long, kind of narrow room, and the short people were sitting in the back. Anyway, there were about 10 or so ship people who at one point kind of claimed a side room and started to talk about safety at sea. Now look at STI. We're filling halls and harbors and thrilling millions all over the world. It's flattering to hear some of you say you'd like to be like me. I'd like to thank you for being you. Throw your own pebbles in the pool, hope for a ripple effect, and carry on making waves. Wherever we are, we're all in the same boat, making ships happen. I'll never forget how we sang Heave Away and Haul Away this year. Thank you. I will never be the same. Knowing that the future of sail training and tall ships is in your hands. It's like bracing the yards. I can let go and trust that each of you will continue to haul away into the future. Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy. What a great way to kick off the awards ceremony. Thank you. I'm going to call on Paul Bishop to be the master of ceremonies here.
Thank you very much, Doug. And it's my pleasure to call on Janet to come and assist. And also Robbie Crow, Youth Council Chairman, to help with the award ceremony. Okay. If you'd like to just be there, and Janet will hand you the trophy. You're the first two, and then Robbie. Okay, so I'll ask our chairman to present the first two trophies, and then Robbie to present the second two, the Youth Awards. So the first award goes to the vessel that's considered by the trustees and race committee members and the race management team who provided the greatest loyalty to the tall ships races and regattas this year. And it's a great pleasure that this award goes to a vessel that has only missed one tall ships race or regatta since 2003. And amazingly, to show such loyalty, not only did she do all 4 legs in the main tall ships races, she sailed from the Iberian Peninsula all the way to the Black Sea. Can I invite Alexei and Anastasia to come up and receive the award for the greatest loyalty, Arkela from Russia. And now to the curiously named Boston Teapot Trophy is awarded for the vessel that with a sail training crew, i.e. 50% between 15 and under 25, that did the greatest distance in 124 hours. The distance was 1,263 nautical miles, and it's a great pleasure to invite Captain Jarl Flatterbo to come up and accept this award on behalf of him as captain of his crew, Statsrad Lemko.
Ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues, I'd like to take the opportunity to say thank you to Håkon for running a professional organization, making it possible to do these fantastic voyages. I'd like to say thank you to my officers, crew, and trainees. It's definitely not a one-man show to make a race or a distance like that. And thank you to all of you. It has been a great pleasure to be part of the community. And thank you to you to organize all these nice events, which we have appreciated very much. Thank you.
And now we'll invite Robbie to do the next 2 awards, the Youth Awards. Sadly, these 2 youngsters can't be here today. I think they're too busy sail training, but we do have representatives who will accept this award on their behalf. This is a young sail trainer who this year is an AB aboard Solandit and also sailed on board of Denmark. She came to the vessel and the A+ World Academy program with a wealth of knowledge about the ship and the needs of the program. She offered invaluable emotional support to new trainees coping with seasickness, homelessness, and she created a fun and supportive learning environment. At 21 years, she truly is an inspirational person, indeed, inspirational sail trainer. And if we could invite, on behalf of, if we could invite Christine Chesterman to accept this award as the youth representative of Canada on behalf of Selena Diaz. Christine, please come forward. Thank you. And now to the sail training volunteer, young volunteer of the award goes to somebody who at 23 years old joined Lewin 2 as a volunteer 2 years ago. She trained and earned her first rate bosun's rating in the first year. She has been a volunteer since then and put her studies on hold to pursue a career in the maritime industry. She received a scholarship to help with her volunteer work from the Western Australia Department for Training, and She was chosen also to go on a career pathway, which enabled her to get her master under 24 meters qualifications. She's multi-skilled, dedicated, and a well-liked volunteer, and she puts in many hours during the refit period. So she cannot be here today, so can we invite the country representative for Australia, Stephen Moss, to accept the award on her behalf. Thank you, Robbie, very much. And now to the Cell Training Volunteer of the Year over 25. He's a volunteer watch assistant, relief mate, and port contact for Spirit of New Zealand. He joined Spirit of Adventure Trust in the early 1990s for a weekend, and his enthusiasm has never flagged since. Whenever the Trust 2 ships are in his home port of Dunedin, he's always there, often with his wife, helping with maintenance, the crew changes, etc., etc. His volunteer work goes on and on. His voyage record is unequaled by any volunteer in the Spirit of Adventures Trust in their 43-year history. I'm delighted that he can be here today. Please, Tony Cummins. Please come forward.
I'd like to thank the Spirit of Adventure Trust for putting forward my nomination for this. There's been the times over the years with the Trust where I've been their pain in the back. There was even, we'd have forums and the office staff were instructed, sit either side of him. If he stands up and talks, knock his knees out. But the other thing is also, we've talked today and over the few days about looking after our trainees and what have you. When we don't have trainees on the ship, they're pretty empty. That's what brings them alive.
Thank you, Tony. And now to the Sail Trainer Professional of the Year over 25. He has sailed aboard the Royal Amundsen since 2000 and as a master since 2004. In addition, he contributes in all types of ways with the conservation of the project and acts as a technical inspector at the coordinator during the dockyard time. He really is a true professional. I could go on and on. Sadly, he's not here today, but if we could ask the country representative of Germany to come up and accept this award on behalf of Ulrich Komorowski. Thank you. All right. And now to the Sail Training Organization of the Air Large Vessels. This goes to an organization that was, the ship was established in 1984. She's really well known to us. She not only is a contributor, great contributor of the tall ships races, but she really does some truly inspirational projects involving young people all over the world. We are particularly impressed, the committee were particularly impressed with the work they do with the Krzysztof Baranowski Academy, with young people from as low as 10, 12, and their Class Afloat type program. The vessel is Pagoria, please, would the country representative, Adam Yasser, come up and accept this award? And now to the Small Vessel Sail Training Organisation of the Year. This award goes to a vessel that works very closely with some very special projects and also their NSTO in delivering quite inspirational sail training. One particular project involved a mixture of participants between the ages of 15 and 25 from different backgrounds, including ethnic minority backgrounds, prioritising those who have experienced the asylum system in Ireland. Places are also offered to Irish participants, often from inner city areas who do not otherwise have this kind of opportunity. The places are funded by the participants and they're just asked to give €50 for the experience. This particular project was launched in 2015 and they've had trainees from Syria, South Africa, the Democratic Republic of Congo, Pakistan, Mauritius, Brazil, Afghanistan, Poland, as well as Ireland. And this vessel is and works very closely with a special project, Ocean Spirit of Oysterhaven, and the special project is Safe Haven Ireland. And if we could invite Seamus McLaughlin, country representative of Ireland, to come up and accept this award. This award is a new award, and the trustees, this person has been nominated for a lifetime achievement in sail by a number of the members here today. There was no doubt the trustees, I think, couldn't ignore such great citations as this fantastic man to achieve the first lifetime achievement award in sail training. Apparently, he started his career as a cadet in 1972. He doesn't look that old to me, and continued to follow his years on Denmark, started on Christian Radich, went to Denmark, and he also sailed as a bosun. Got his master's papers in 1980s, and sailed on as a captain on board of Havnøy, and sailed as mate and the captain of Sorlandet. He also sailed as the captain of Stadsralenko, which he has just retired from. Deeply respected sailor and captain, who has been involved in education and sailors for decades. Jarl, please, would you like to take the stage again?
Thank you to all of you. It's a hell of a responsibility to be a captain, but more than anything else, it has been a privilege and a pleasure. And when you experience these moments where the sea, the ship, and the crew is going into a harmony, it has been worth it all. So thank you again.
And now to the host port Sail Training International Trophy. Goes to the port that in the regatta of this year recruited the greatest number of trainees during a tortoise race or regatta. Amazingly, they received 379 trainees plus 43 on the cruising company, recruited that number. the organisation, no surprises, Air Pavella, and João Lucio and team, would you like to come up and collect your award? And now to the Janke Bielak Medal. And Nancy, you spoke so eloquently about the medal and indeed about Janke, how inspiring she was. Thank you very much for that. And I'm very pleased that this award goes to somebody who has also contributed a tremendous amount, and many of you will know him in this room and would work very closely with him. Sadly, he's not here today, but we've got somebody lined up to accept his award. I understand he was the race chairman for the port chairman in 2004 in Stavanger. He was so good that he was poached, I think, for Sail Training International and then headed the Tall Ships Races Europe committee. And he earned so many friends from around the world and really was truly inspiring with sending this message of peace and understanding. No surprises, Jostein Hokkoli. So, Jon Snorre, please would you come up and accept this award on his behalf? And now to the final award, a very prestigious award, the Sultan Qaboos Sail Training Trophy. As you know, the Royal Navy of Oman are old friends of Sail Training International, and indeed all of us around the royal room, because we all benefit from their amazing contribution of their bursary scheme. Since it was founded, they've given a total of 300,000 euros to help young disadvantaged people go to sea. That has amounted to 534 trainees from many, many different nationalities, and they've also agreed to continue the scheme until 2020. Great news indeed to announce. We invite onto the stage Commodore Sayed Al-Saadi, Principal Staff Officer of the Royal Navy Oman, to present the Sultan Qaboos Trophy. The Sultan Qaboos Sailing Trophy goes to an inspirational national sail training organization this year. It was founded in 1984 and has had an amazing track record ever since. They've been involved in initiating so many young youth projects, very creative, very dynamic, very interesting and inspiring for all of us around. The list is too long to go through, but take it from me and it'll be on the website, more details. They've also contributed around 30,000 euros a year to help young people from their country to take part in the tall ships races and regattas, and they also raise another 15 or 20,000 euros to help with other youth-related projects. A few years ago, they gave a substantial amount to make possible a Class A tall ship purpose-built for sail training to make that happen, and that ship has been sailing with us ever since. There's no guessing. That was planned, I think. That was one of their beach parties. Also, Sti and Alexander von Humboldt, Sail Training Association Germany, Volker Klaus, George, Lena, and the team. Please, would you come up for the Sultan Qaboos Sailing Trophy 2016?
Let me just try to say some few words. Thanks a lot. It's an honor, a very big honor for us to get this trophy. And I promise you we continue and we go on struggling. We, like all of you. Thank you very much.
I'm going to invite Brian from the Youth Council to come forward to give our closing remarks.
Good afternoon, everyone. First off, I would like to thank Sail Training International and our hosts here in Sweden for putting up with the shenanigans that are associated with this conference. I would also like to thank the rest of you for bringing the shenanigans. These conferences would not be the same without them. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Brian. I am the United States representative on the Youth Council. Now, I realize that at this moment, you're probably expecting me to talk about how I'm going to make sail training great again. Anyways, I currently live in Utah, which is the second driest state in the U.S. Utah's most famous body of water is the Great Salt Lake, a lake so shallow that I once saw a dog walk across it. So it would be kind of strange that I would end up in a group of young people devoted to promoting sail training. My first time sailing was on the Brigantine Irving Johnson. I was immediately engulfed by the sail training experience. The idea that my shipmates and I were responsible for making a ship move was truly remarkable. For some of them, that was their only time on a tall ship. However, that experience is something that has not been forgotten by any of them. It is an experience that we all share together. During this time at sea, I learned a lot of things. I learned to be patient. Spending the first 12 hours on a starting line might do that. I learned that people from different walks of life can find a commonality, even if the smallest commonalities can bring these people together, even if that's throwing up over the side of a rail for a few hours. The funny thing about my first tall ship experience was that I thought Irving and X.E. Johnson must be the only tall ships in the world. Obviously, I discovered that I was wrong. I discovered that there were many tall ships in the world, and I immediately got it into my head that this was a way to see the world. It still is a bit of a surprise to me that that's exactly what happened. This shows the power of sail training and what it has on a young person's life. Young people still have a sense of adventure. Sail training is that genuine adventure that teaches a person about themselves as well as the others around them. About a month ago, I was having dinner with my parents, and for some reason, we got on a topic that I had learned through sail training. And my mother immediately turned to me and said, "Brian, do you realize that sailing has been the best education you have ever had?" I never really thought about it, but she was right. The things that I have learned through sail training have stuck with me longer than what I've learned even through university. As we look to next year, think about what sail training is to the trainees. It is an adventure. It is a chance to learn. It is an opportunity for personal growth. It is a time to make new friendships. Consider these things for your own ship, port, or organization. Explore new corporations to develop your programs. Sail someplace new, even if it's only a few miles away. Seek new trainee groups to create a cultural understanding in your community. As a community, we can keep sailing alive and make sure it will continue to have the same impact on future generations as it has had on myself and all of you. Sail training is already great. Do as your trainees do. Keep exploring and learn something new. Thank you very much.
When we first got on the ship, I didn't know anything, to be honest. And then we gradually learned more.
I learned how to walk the boat. I learned how to do such things as sweating, tailing, tying knots. Some of the work was tough, like bringing in the mainsail, sweating and tailing.
I think the way we bonded through interactions and work was very helpful.
Everybody went out the way to make sure you felt comfortable. My favourite memory was at the helm in the sea, because that's quite a tough task. You have to keep a direct course, but with the help of the crew, I think I did quite well in it.
The best memory was going out onto the bowsprit. Yeah, the weather was really nice and the water was really clear.
When you're at home, you don't have to wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning to do 3 hours work.
You have to really push yourself to do it.
I learned cooperation, time management, and organizational skills. It really builds your character and discipline in life.
It mainly got to me like when you're working with family. Together as a team, you can get anywhere.
This has really helped me become more independent.
It made you learn. You should be thankful for what you have.
Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, many thanks for being here. Hope you've had a wonderful conference.
that's the end of the formal part of the business. Tonight you have the opportunity to put the dresses and the glad rags on, and the women can dress the same if they wish. And we'll look forward to seeing you back here for drinks and dinner this evening. It will be held in this room. And for those of you looking ahead to tomorrow, we've got an early start. I'm told by the hotel management that breakfast will be served for 6:30. Enjoy, you won't see me there. So thank you very much for coming and enjoy the evening. Thank you.